Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to CG Market Watch Live. And today it's a Friday and we are seeing some market correction, the usual take profits. So let's cover some of the news today, and we'll talk some charts later as well. Forgive me for not sharing my previous CG Market Watch. I did not share my screen, so sincere apologies to that. But today I'm gonna make sure that I will be sharing my screens. Okay, so let's begin. Right. Okay, so first of all, as we always do, we'll start with the coin market cap. So right now we're seeing the market cap at 136 billion. We have 24 hours volume at 17 billion. And of course, Bitcoin dominance is currently at 53.9%. Okay, so I think the one thing to kind of understand and note is that the Bitcoin dominance has went up, right? So people are shifting towards holding on to Bitcoin or even trading on Bitcoin. But the question is it worth less now, or are certain tokens worthless right now? Now, we also see certain ICO projects or even certain projects that are quite matured, firing their staff, laying off people, just trying to cut costs as well during this bearish season. So it's everywhere it's happening, right? So it's kind of like a crypto recession that's ongoing. But when you kind of understand and look at the market, what's happening now? First of all, Stellar overtook Bitcoin Cash, right? So Stellar is now ranked at number 4, and whereas for Bitcoin Cash, it's ranked at number 5. We also see that Stellar went up by 2.99%. I think one of the reasons why it's going up, it's also partly because Zcash is already kind of targeted to be listed on Coinbase Pro, and so therefore Stellar is kind of like the next one or the next contender to be listed on Coinbase Pro. So that's a reason why it's going up. All right. Hey guys, so anyway, so the rest of it, EOS went up by 6.13%. It's quite significant in this market. Zcash went up by 1.78, so it actually did a huge 10%, almost 10% pumped, and then now it's correcting. And wow, we have a new contender called Maker here. So anyway, well, the rest of it, it's pretty, same old. USD coin, went up by 0.01%. True US dollar 0.13. Where's our favorite Tether? Okay, so Tether is somewhere. I can't find it somehow. Alright, so anyway, Tether, oh yeah, it's here. So Tether is ranked 8, okay? It went up by 0.02%. So just by looking at the stable coins, you kind of can get the market sentiment as well. Alright, so people are already hedging out into the different stable coins, and therefore the premium for these stable coins are going up. And naturally, their percentage shows, okay? So Bitcoin SV is ranked at number 9 now, which is, wow, pretty interesting, okay? So 3 different news today, very quickly. I just want to cover them. They're all on CCN, so you can read up more to just understand. But I will just once again bring out the more important points to you guys. Okay, so crypto will survive bear market, but won't replace money. Okay, said by Alliance chief economist. So he said that cryptocurrencies will exist. They will become more and more widespread, but they will be part of an ecosystem, and they will not be dominant as some of the early adopters believe them. Now, he also kind of said that they don't have the intrinsic attributes of a currency, and it's not going to replace money. Fine. And he said that cryptocurrencies are also kind of commodities but not currencies. Okay, so he went on to actually mention that he feels that Bitcoin is overvalued at that point in time. The buy value should be roughly $5,000, which is where we are at already. And crypto boasts undaunted by bear market. So in fact, one of unequivocal yes, NYSE chair says Bitcoin and crypto are here to stay, right? So this news is kind of old, but it was already mentioned. So we kind of feel that a lot of different institutions are coming out to say that Bitcoin is going to be here to stay. Crypto will survive the bear market, but what's its pricing? Where is it going to go next? That is the greatest question. So I had lunch with one of my close friend, and he was saying, and I think he's watching this. So we were just discussing, if the bulls do come back and do return, where is the price that we're going to be looking at? Where will the bulls return? How do we conclude that is a bull? I mean, it's really hard to really say what is a price to look at, right? I mean, generally you can say it's $5,000, you can say it's $6,000, you can say that it's a point where miners feel that it's profitable to mine it. That would be when we can conclude that the bulls are here. So a technical analysis here doesn't really assist as much if you think about it, alright? So there's so many different analysts saying that Bitcoin could go to 15,000, 50,000, whatever, but as of now it's still very unclear, right? Now, I will talk about it later, what I personally feel the fundamental reasons how we are still kind of in a bear period. And you also need to kind of understand that as much as I want to be optimistic about the market, a lot of things are delayed. Okay, a lot of different huge institutions are delaying their timeline, their roadmap, and therefore it's kind of like a telltale sign to tell you that perhaps the bear market isn't over yet, right? And the question is, what exactly is worth it now? Which exact altcoins or which exact projects are still worth it? So it's the greatest question I have. Next, Google Trends searches for Bitcoin surges to 8 months high. I think there's two interesting points to note here. Number one, we can see that it actually surged slightly after saw the 85% decline. Okay, and reason behind the upward movement, okay, was because there was a huge movement, and it was also partly because of the efforts of BUC, NYSE and Nasdaq, right, have actually kind of increased the interest of the mainstream towards this asset class. But I think one thing that we kind of have to note is that the popularity of similar words like crypto and Ethereum is not showing any major movement. So it's purely just Bitcoin. That term Bitcoin is increasing when it comes to Google searches, right? And so does that actually reflect the price of Bitcoin? It's a questionable thing once again. But the good thing is the increase in interest towards Bitcoin is certainly a positive for our whole sector, our whole market, especially considering the lack of momentum. But my greatest question is, will we have the volume to sustain the price movement? Okay, when it comes to everything put together. Now, one of the reasons why our topic today is worthless is partly because of the two dudes here. Basically DJ Khaled and Floyd Mayweather. I think most of you who are long enough in this space, there was a period of time when ICOs was really in a stage where it was there was so much hype on it, and these two particular guys, they took some endorsement on certain ICO projects. Okay, and now SEC is knocking on their doors, going to them. They're on a lot of lawsuit now, probing as well. So guys, it's happening. Okay, the greatest question here is how much, right? SEC also found that Mayweather never disclosed that he was paid $200,000 to promote two other ICOs. So wow. So he did not kind of register, or did not kind of announce that he was being paid by it. So guys, it's a thing that you gotta bear, right? I mean, doing in the US, you tend to have certain repercussions when the market kind of matures. The lawsuit, the regulation will start coming in, all right? And I believe SEC will definitely be clamping down on more of these different kind of projects, endorsement, you name it, or even just the founders of those projects themselves. So I think there's a period of fearfulness now in ICO projects. Number one, they cannot sustain their business. Number two, the SEC and Justice Department is coming for them. It's wow, like, what am I gonna do, right, if I'm an ICO project? And I mean, if you're a project that's truly developing, you have invoices, you have service agreement, you have partnerships, you have things going on in basically what you do. I think that's still justifiable. But if you have a business that you cannot justify why you are spending so much money on traveling and spending so much on whatever, then you're gonna have a tough time with SEC, especially if your project is open up to the US citizens, right? So tendency is that you have more repercussions coming in very soon, right? And the question is, right now, the projects that they have endorsed, are these projects or these tokens still valid, right? Are they worth less now, or are they on the opposite end, right, of the title? So I think that's something we got a question to. Are endorsements still relevant and in this space moving forward, right? Will STO companies hire stars like that to endorse their projects? That's another thing that I want to know when the market do pick up, right? Okay, so very quickly, let's have a quick update on the hash war as well. What's happening between the Bitcoin Cash camps, ABC and SV. And I basically include this particular segment in most of my CG Market Watch because I think it's an important point to note. And it's an important point to understand that there is still problems going on in the Bitcoin Cash camp, okay? And that also potentially will have an impact on Bitcoin's transaction cost, and also at the same time, it will have an impact on Bitcoin's mining and hash rate. So think about it. I was sending about $1,000 plus on BTC network, right? And it cost me about $3 just to send it through, okay? And the transaction took slightly longer than it used to. So this is what is happening, is because the hash rate is shifting towards mining BCH ABC, all right? And so what you can see now in terms of the hash rate is 62% are mining ABC, whereas 38% are mining SV. So when it comes to statistics wise, you have seen how it kind of dipped already. Both ABC and SV. So in fact, there's few hours ago, right? This is hourly. Yeah, a few hours ago, in fact, SV was going quite high, right, and it was going up quite significantly. And we know that SV prices has been increasing last week as well. So what we're seeing right here is that, you know, both ABC and SV are kind of catching up together. Well, I guess it's a kind of like a good sign, and you have mining pools and hash rates dropping for both ABC and SV in a huge way, right? So I guess it's a good sign. I mean, this is the telltale sign that perhaps the miners are starting to shift towards mining BTC, okay? But of course, when it comes to the mining pool, you have realized that the smaller players like BTC.top is now, instead of 15.9%, it's now at 31.94%. So it just kind of tells you that, hey, you know, smaller players are taking over the mining BCH ABC or SV, doesn't matter. But the bigger players are now concentrating on mining BTC, and I think that's the good trend. Via BTC also went up by about 4%. You see BTC.com dropping their hash rate on mining BCH. Mpool has dropped as well. So they are now kind of, I mean, just interpreting from this, okay, I'm assuming that they did not increase their operation, did not increase their mining capabilities. They have kind of just shifted out from mining BCH to mining BTC again, to kind of secure the network or secure its mining power, right? And we see more more smaller players coming in. You can see Bitcoin.com as well dropping from 14.8. Let me zoom in a bit. Dropping from 14.8% to now at 4.17%. So it's just kind of like a telltale sign to show you that what the bigger mining pools are doing as compared to the smaller mining pools. The smaller mining pools are increasing their mining power on mining BCH, while the bigger mining pools are focusing their efforts on mining BTC. So quick question, is that what the miners wanted to do initially, right? It was to push the smaller mining pools towards mining BCH so that the bigger mining pools can now focus on mining BTC, which is still the king, which is still the store of value, right? So they're just taking more control over the mining power of BTC. Right, so I think that's something that I was just thinking with Ryan together. We've been speculating a lot lately, but as you can see, just talking about it, you could see that BTC.com has went up, right? Via BTC it slightly went down. Some of it flow over to mining BCH. Mpool also went down slightly. So you tend to see more players now, right? It's kind of more balanced than it used to be, but we still see different players here as well. Okay, so I think that's interesting to kind of just monitor both the hash rate of BCH and the hash rate for Bitcoin, just to understand what exactly is happening in both markets. All right, so like I would say, I think a conclusive victory will be required in the BCH camps in order for BTC network to stabilize and for miners to start shifting properly and appropriately to kind of just strengthen the network of BTC, and therefore reducing the cost of transactions, and then there's a value that comes in it. All right, and yeah, let's just hope that the hash rate will just kind of continue like that. In the event that it does pick up again similar to this, we would see huge tanking in BTC price again. Hash war is still ongoing. All right, so it's heavily dependent on miners. Okay, so one press of the button, one tweet maybe from Jihan Wu or somebody may just release the next bull. So it's hard to say. All right, now very quickly, let's take a look at the charts. This is just something that I crafted out very simply. Yeah, so let me just talk about it quickly. All right, so this is BTC 4 hours on Gemini. Okay, so what we're seeing right here is I've adjusted on my Ichimoku to fit the cryptoverse in that sense. But what we are seeing here is a potential head and shoulder that has been forming for quite a while, and I've been talking about it on my TradingView. I've published a few charts ever since I started officially on TradingView. So if you want the latest update, okay, when it comes to certain charts, you could also follow me on TradingView. Yeah, I'll show it to you guys later. But no matter what, the information or the best information will still be shared, or analysis will still be shared on our Discord group. All right, so but basically we'll still be able to give you some good information here. All right, so what we're seeing here is a huge head and shoulder. This is the head, this is the shoulder. It's very subjective. Some people won't see it, some people will say it is not. It doesn't really matter when it comes to chart patterns. Okay, many people have different kind of interpretation, but potentially we are seeing a huge head and shoulder forming here on 4 hours. In fact, I think, let me think, is it on daily? Okay, daily is not. So on 4 hours, right? So even on our RSI, which is forming here, there was kind of like a small head and shoulder, which is the head, the shoulders, or you can interpret it as a double top, and therefore we're dipping. But on OBV, which is in terms of volume, we could kind of see a very clear cut OBV. Sorry, you can see a very clear cut head and shoulder right here. Where this is the head and this is the shoulders. All right, it's like 3-peak system, and so most likely what we're seeing here is a very natural dip that we will be seeing. I've already spoken about this in our Discord group, and I've told them to kind of just beware, hedge out appropriately, but it's already happening. Okay, a potential head and shoulder. I was in fact looking up for a double top or a triple top situation, but it turns out to be a head and shoulder, so I guess that's even better. So we are currently trading in the Kumo cloud, and Chico span is going down as well. So trading in Kumo cloud means we will be seeing certain support forming from the cloud itself, and the first support that I'll be really be looking at will be at this price at $4,119. All right, so if we do drop below this price, which I think we would because of dojis, the build out of dojis, we should be seeing at 3985, and then subsequently will be at 3870 based on the Fibonacci that I've done previously on this 4-hour chart. All right, so we drew from the bottom up to here, so we should see a 0.618 bounce up. And based on the cloud, it seems like we'll have a bounce up. So the lowest that we may drop to is about 3870, and if you do exit with more selling volume, we may head further downwards, and therefore we will see a support at 35 level. Hopefully we don't go down anymore, but I think the tendency for it to go down is quite high, partly because, or the likelihood is partly because it's a Friday, it's a normal take profit day, and at the same time, it's like profit day plus we're gonna see some movement coming forward. And Friday historically is always a take profit day in crypto, in any financial markets, and at the same time we won't see much movement. All right, it's a natural take profit in the market. All right, in fact for most tokens you would see them as negative right now, right? Because when BTC move down, most of the tokens are moving down in terms of dollar value as well. So that is happening. All right. Okay, so let me see if there's any questions from anyone. Wow, okay, it's a bit long today. Okay, so should we keep holding or sell, right? George, let me think. Okay, so question is, I don't know what you're holding and I don't know what you're selling. If you're talking about BTC per se, I think hedging out some would be wise. If you are, it's a very, I mean, when OBV and RSI kind of align together with the chart and it's all turning head and shoulders, I think it's pretty accurate. All right, so I'm not betting my life on this, but if I've already hedged out slightly, yeah, honestly, I've also started some shorts, but I already told the Discord group to start planning, and I've actually published this trade since yesterday. And I think if those that have kind of captured this idea, I've really talked about how that I was actually shorting. That I already told people that I was shorting already. Yeah, so I already told this yesterday. Okay, and that was the yesterday's date. So if you want to follow me on the latest update, you can follow me on Endinism. That's my own account, but of course it's always for crypto grinders. Okay, but in general, what we do see is my scenario didn't really play out fully, but when you press the button, you could see that there was a tendency that it went up. It went up to that particular level. It breached the resistance level, but it's kind of dipping right now. All right, so the scenario 1 that I mentioned did play out. There was also kind of like a divergence that was happening, so I kind of feel that, you know, today we will see some downward action. So it happens. All right, so while most people, different analysts are saying to long and to believe that you'll keep heading up, personally I wasn't very favorable on that. All right, so if you are to continue selling, it's really very hard to tell you where the market could go to. I wouldn't really suggest to be selling at this juncture. If you want to short, it's at your own risk. Of course, it's kind of dangerous, but judging from how the chart movement I think it's quite favorable. All right, so of course not financial advice, so you decide. Link, you would like to buy some EOS? Any advice? Like I say, EOS is down by 6.13%. In fact, I think it's one of the project that is down quite a fair bit, right? It's down by 7.23%. So a lot of people are kind of dumping their EOS. For me to kind of conclude things about EOS is, all I can say is EOS has a development team, at the same time, they are quite supportive on the projects that they are helping out. And from what I've known, okay, is that quite some projects are also built on EOS platform. Okay, in fact, it's also quite popular in China. All right, so this is what I know about EOS as of now. So that depends on you. Okay, so you can decide if you wanna like look at EOS. Okay, Abdullah asked a very great question. Like, I love this question. When a bull run does happen, what coin do you think will do the most? I have no idea, bro. I think Bitcoin will do good. And I think anything... Okay, this is my own personal point of view when it comes to fundamentals. There's two ways to look at it. Fundamentals and hype, okay? So projects that are still building even in this bearish season, that are still growing, that has revenue generating, will definitely move up faster. Secondly, tokens that have a lot of hype on it will move fast as well. So what do I mean by hype? If the project is not developing, they have very little developers, but the prices always quite volatile, or they move quite quickly in unison with BTC, you might want to look at the hype tokens. But personally for me, I always play the first one, which is fundamentals. Fundamentals won't go wrong. When institution people do come in, do you think they'll look at it, do you think they'll look at fundamentals in terms of value investing, or do you think they'll look at hype? Answer is clear. You decide. Okay. So anyway, what do you think about master noding, especially all the Bitcoin Cash drama? Now, I think Maka Kilo Kid, right? So this will be the last question I'll be answering. But a lot of people are asking me about master noding. Example like Dash, right? So Dash price always seems to be very well supported, in fact. So my rule of thumb is masternode seems like a pretty good idea, but the question is, which masternode projects are you looking at then? And will they officially really recover as fast as the other cheaper projects? So even though, okay, think about it this way. Say example for Dash, all right? Dash is still pretty expensive, okay? And think about it as a retail trader. Most of the people will want to own more tokens than own less tokens. Right, so Dash, although will recover eventually, its peak is about $400 plus or more, I can't remember. But think about it this way, it's all dependent on your horizon. If you can hold it longer, you can earn some, as a masternode, you can earn some tokens from it, example for Dash, then it depends on you. But it also means that, remember that it's a huge amount for Dash. I'm not too sure about the other kind of token like PVX and whatever. So you decide whether it's worth it or not. But question is then, what exactly does the token do? What exactly do you need to support the network for? I mean, if it's Dash, it's more like a digital payment, like a payment system or gateway kind of thing. So you're masternoding to support the network. PVX could be a different thing, like a privacy token kind of logic, right? So the question is, what exactly are you securing the network for? It's the same as staking. Why am I still staking certain coins, or why am I still staking? It's the same thing. You're supporting certain network, right? You're helping with the transactions. But so when you receive tokens from these projects, are the tokens worth it as well, right? So it's really a question of what is worth less, what is worth it, and what projects, fundamentals, and hype play. You need to be looking at that. Well, thirdly will be masternode. But masternode will be more of a very slow growth, I feel. And everyone right now is in a very bearish state, right? So the question is, which masternode will recover? That is also the question you need to ask yourself. But personally, I don't really look at masternode. I think it's a waste of time. Trading is faster, investing the right tokens is faster than just locking all up into a masternode, because there's always a minimum requirement in masternode. So this is my own personal point of view, all right? So you can decide what you want to do, all right? Okay, so no problems, Makakilo. Great to have you here. All right, so that's the end of my CG Market Watch Live. And look, the market is dipping as we speak. Brilliant. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you on the next episode next week. All right. So stay safe investing. Stay invested, and be safe when you invest. All right. So I'll see you next episode. Bye, guys.